we're now in this central box. So if the value proposition sounds a bit fluffy, what it really means is it's the goods and services, it's the products that you produce and the benefits they bring and the pain it takes away. So it's a nice description. And when you're creating that magnetic pull, what you're trying to do is use language that evokes and triggers a positive response from people, whether it's through cold outreach emailing, whether it's through general conversation, whether it's how you present yourself online, your web presence, but it's using a language that you know will resonate with them. And there's so many different ways to do it. The classic ones are, well, it's new, nobody else has it, so you could be first to market. Now that for some people is very, very attractive. For others, it's about performance. So it needs to be better than the rest. And actually, I can prove that it is better than the competition, which again, if it's a performance led business, that really wants that advantage, then that's the language you actually use to trade on. For others, it's about something unique and inimitable that nobody else has. Fantastic. Well, that's why we offer customized products to your specifications. If they can afford that and it's a tailored service, give it to them. But make sure you talk about that if you feel that that's a true need that they have. In other cases, it doesn't need any flannel. This is what we do, and this is how when we can do it. It does exactly what it says on the tin. It gets the job done. And some people like that. They don't want all that guff. They just want to know it will do the job. And if you've got endorsements and recommendations and evidence that actually does exactly what it says on the tin, away you jolly well go. For some people, the design, the aesthetics of a product or a service are really important. That how, for me, aesthetics are really important. So how I build my slide decks is an important part of it, how I design them, the content I put into it. And that's an intangible, but it can come across for copywriters, for web developers, for creative agencies producing content. Aesthetics, the design is key. But for you, the design isn't necessarily just about the service delivery. It could also be about the physical product itself. How well do you come across, and how much will that make your customer feel better about that acquisition that they've made? There are countless organizations producing luxury goods because people want to buy the best of the best, and actually they not only can they afford it, but they crave it, and they're actively looking for the next new thing. And in fact, there are lots of business models out there of Instagram influencers and thought leaders and subject matter experts who you can buy the services of to talk about these fantastic luxury products, because they have a massive following of people who have a huge disposable income who put a high price on aesthetics, that it needs to look the very best and I'm willing to pay for it. And that feeds into this whole brand, this self-awareness and actualization. And for some people, I just want to impress. I've got the Lambo, could have got a Skoda. Obviously I was going to buy a Lambo, wasn't I? So for some people, they actually want to do that. They want to wear the badge on their shirts. They want the icon on their belts. They want it on their hand luggage. They want it on their website. They want to show other people that they have it, and that's fine. That's really down to them if that's the way it is. If you identify that as a key trait and something for you to build on, then of course you need to be able to back that up and ensure that your brand is aligned with their values, what they expect to see. It's great to have a luxury product, but if it's a ropey old value proposition you have, and that all of your outreach and your engagement strategy looks a little bit flaky, then unfortunately the very best products in the world won't work, unless you go for this thing called ratting, which is like a guerrilla marketing technique where actually you purposefully don't, you build a bare bones business model and everything looks handmade, but in actual fact the product that's being produced is top of the range. So that ratting methodology can work, but that's really quite niche. So we've got price. Some people basically it has to be affordable, and if you're in a price fight, that's a really challenging environment to be in. And to be honest, if the only proposition that you have is how cheap you are or how expensive you are, then you've pretty much got nowhere left to go. And I would suggest that if that's the number one conversational point, you need to peg several other pieces of the value proposition to that as a point of differentiation, because you'll eventually get to a point where you and the competition have sharpen your pencil to the point where there's nothing left in it, and somebody will need to make a decision, and that's when your secondary value elements of your proposition will start to play out. So this list isn't I've got to choose one. This could be a combination of these, but you always know what the primary value proposition is for that particular customer group. So it could be cost reduction. So the offer that you have will reduce some element of cost that they incur. So it's not just a matter of this product will, it's affordable. That's the price. That's number 7. But this is what we actually offer will cut your costs, because this will give you an operational gain, or it will change the way that you operate, which in itself will make you more competitive, which again creates this. Remember, I was talking about the value chain, and we're here and we're talking to our customer, but our customer has another customer. Well, that's sometimes number 8. The cost reduction can be where you can talk about how you can save money, how you can help them save money as they're doing their day-to-day operations and trying to deliver value to their customers. So number 9 is risk reduction. We're going to take the problem away. We're going to let you sleep at night. I know it's number 1, it's the elephant in the room. Well, hey, we're going to solve that for you, because we understand, we have an empathic understanding of your needs. Let me show you the risk register. Let me show you how we'd help you mitigate against that. The biggest challenge you have right now is X. Okay, well, good. We can help you with that. And actually, that's a really quick fix. But again, risk reduction, it's a little bit like price. It can't be the only thing to trade on, because if you're in a challenging marketplace where risk reduction is the number 1 competitive factor, you're going to need other things to talk about, because everybody will talk the same game. So number 9 is the accessibility of your goods and services. So do you make it easy for people to get hold of? So what I mean by that is, if you think about your channel strategy and who you're working with, how people get to know about you. So how do they get to know about you? Is it easy for them to find out and acquire this thing from you? Or have you created a laborsome process where actually just people just give up and walk away from the abandoned shopping cart, so to speak, because it's just too difficult? There are too many steps or too many barriers in this. And even if you don't have an online web presence like that, but you have a very elegant but simple, direct person-to-person approach, map that out and think through the stages of, like, how complex have we made this to get them from I'm now informed to I now have this good or service from you. Get rid of all the guff, just make it easy for them, because ultimately that builds the momentum and the positivity and the engagement they have with you. And similarly, the product itself, how easy and convenient is it to be used? Have you built a wonderful, fantastic system that they're going to inherit and they just think this is a nightmare, I can't even use it? And every time we bring something new into the business, we have to go through this massive learning curve with them. So is the solution that you're offering fit for purpose, and is it easy to use? And then the final one is value alignment. And this is very much the new thing, which is, do your values align with their values? So there are businesses out there that specifically will help you understand the values of segmented customer bases. One of the clear ways that happens is on Instagram. Instagram is probably one of the best tools for sentiment and values. And there are businesses that are out there that are specifically just targeting businesses based on what their kind of views are on those things. And for you as an individual, as a business owner, it's whether or not you need to talk about your values in alignment with those. So we think about net zero, we think about cruelty-free products, we think about recycled products, we think about chemical-free products, we think about certain things, but there's also other ethical standpoints as well. We move into the psychographic and the demographic profiling of people to really identify what are their trigger points. And what you obviously don't want to do is just start creating fictitious values because you know that will work for them. It's more a matter of really looking inside your own organization and saying, what do we stand for, and how can we talk about that in a positive way that we know our audience will be receptive to. So there's 12 different trigger words that you can use for you to be able to repurpose your online presence and even your conversational gambits that you have when you're networking to actually trigger those. We kind of do it unwittingly in real time anyway, particularly in networking environments. You meet somebody, they extend their hand to you and you say hello, and then they tell you about their business, and then they ask you, tell me about your business, and almost unconsciously you start to, in your mind, frame what it is you're going to explain about your business so it has some kind of synergy with their business. You just do it. You don't realize it, but you just do. But what we're not that necessarily good at is articulating that through our online presence and through our marketing and kind of email outreach, basically.